started, there's some basic rules and tools that we all have to know. We have our clay, we have to cut our clay and share it with those in the workshop. The best way to cut your 2-inch student is with a wire. We have our 2-inch student, we have to cut our 2-inch student, go down about 2 inches. And cut it in half about 2 inches.
2 inches.
2 inches.
2 inches.
Or cut it in half, it's not 2 inches.
2 inches.
Cut it in half and
2 inches.
Then go down 2 inches again, and it makes nice little blocks of clay. And these are great little blocks. I'll put it here in it. Of clay. And these are great little blocks of clay to get people started. Depending on the age of your student, you want to give them one. I'm going to put them in a wet student. We'll talk about the student in a minute. Now this clay I'm done with. I have all the clay out of the bag I want for the workshop. I'm going to close it up. Always keep your clay closed up in the bag and put it out of the way. Now we're ready to get going. Now I have it in a damp student. Every student in your workshop needs their own damp student. We buy these student, but you can use a washcloth, an old towel, a shirt you got for a gift that you never want to wear again. Any student that will hold water, keep your clay nice and soft and moist and ready to go. Nice and soft and moist and ready to go.
Nice and soft and moist and ready to go.
So now before we get working, there's some rules. I showed you the first tool. Now our first tool. So what is this important tool, most important tool of all? When you're working with clay, you always have to make sure that you're not having fun. And that might not be as easy as you think. If one of your students is working with something and they like it, they can get really upset. They can get mad, they can get sad, they can get angry. I have seen people break down and cry over playing with a ball of mud. If someone doesn't like what they're making, make sure they do. Help them do whatever it takes to do. But we're going to start shaping our clay. To shape our clay, we're going to get our hand big and flat and open, and we're going to roll on the table. When you're rolling a ball, you'll make sure it goes all the way over, turn the ball, all the way over, turn the ball. When you're rolling your clay and you have the shape that you want, you're going to work on the paper. So rule number 2 is always roll on the table and work on the paper.
Shut up.
That's kind of fun to say. A roll on the table and work on the paper.
A roll on the table and work on the paper.
A roll on the table and work on the paper. No one is too old to say roll on the table and work on the old. The whole class going roll on the table and work on the old. They don't work on the old.